As I explained earlier, we'll be dealing with what we call unit standards in this particular training course. In this particular first course we will have, we'll be dealing with the unit standard 114183. The name of this unit standard is Apply the Principles of Resolving Problems for Single User and Multi-User Computer Operating System. So as I said before, unit standards are literally modules or topics. So our topic right now is about applying principles of problem solving for single user and multi-user computer operating systems. First of all, we need to then understand what do we mean by this particular topic for us to really get deeper into our system support. I think I'll start with explaining what system support is all about. In most companies, you realize that not all the people who work at the companies really know how to use their particular tools, such as the computers. And also in most companies, you realize that not all the clients who use the facilities of those companies know how to use those particular facilities. That's where someone who's trained like you will come into use. They will be able to support those people either via a phone call or face-to-face or whatever means necessary for that particular client or worker of that company to be able to use their IT systems, for example. You might actually have had an experience of going to use something that you have never used before. Maybe you actually bank with another bank and then someone sent you money using another bank and you're not familiar with the way that bank actually works. You might actually have had to call the security guard or some help from part of the people who work there to help you in withdrawing that money. In other words, what you just heard in that particular situation was actually a systems support session. Someone actually helped you with their system to make sure that you are able to use it and get the results that you expect. So in this particular course, we're going to be talking about systems which are computers. Computers in terms of literally the device you are using right now to see this particular lesson, be it a laptop or a desktop. And these computers all come with different shapes and sizes, literally just like human beings, who actually specialize a lot on computers which are using what we call Windows. Windows is what we then call an operating system. An operating system is a software that helps you to be able to use the computer itself. For example, if you were to have a computer without an operating system and you press the on button on the keyboard, the computer would not know what to do. The operating system is like the reasoning of the computer. The moment you press the on button, is the one that recognizes that you press the on button and now it's time to switch on the screen and the keyboard for you to be able to interact with the computer. The operating system is also the one which is responsible for making sure that when you press, for example, the letter F on the keyboard, the letter F appears on the screen. That's again the job of the operating system. These operating systems come from very simple operating systems to very highly advanced operating systems. The simple ones are then the ones we call the single user operating systems, and the advanced ones are then we call the multi-user operating system. What we mean by single user operating system is just that at one particular time, only one user is able to log in and use that particular computer. This is usually the case with the computers that we own, like your laptop and your desktop at home. Then you might actually go and work at a very big company and you realize that you might not even see what we call your CPU on your desktop. It's because your computer is actually linked to one big CPU and you only have a screen and a keyboard. That's not even a disadvantage. That's actually a good thing because it means the rest of the team has access to the same things at the same time. That actually means we can actually work faster. There's no need to bring flash disks and transfer stuff from one computer to the other. We can actually work together without needing to face each other and discuss things because all of them are already on the computer that we're using. That's then a multi-user computer operating system. I'll go deeper into this later on. I just wanted you to understand what this topic really means. As you scroll down, you see that on your learner guide, there are actually information that you have to fill here. These are the information about yourself and the organization training you and about where it is located and so forth. There's no much stress about how to fill this. For example, if I was to fill this, I was just going to say Evans Fundira, which is my name. And I was just going to fill in with my organization, which is Gold Class. That's the name of the organization. Unit or department, I'm just going to say Johannesburg. And here I'll have to repeat, but facilitator is literally me here. So maybe let me give an example of a student here. Let me just say Mpho Ngubane. So that I put the truth here. And the facilitator is then Evans Fundira. So every time it's written facilitator, you actually put my name. Date started, I'll put today's date, which is 8 June 2022. And date of completion, I might actually complete this tomorrow. I'll just say 8 June 2022. This depends on how fast you are. Sometimes I complete in one day. The dates and stuff like that are not really as important. What is needed is just to make sure that you put them. You might not really finish it tomorrow. You might finish it after 3 days. You can then put that you finish it in 3 days. But since we do not have much time, normally one day will be all we have for all these particular courses. There are these icons throughout this learner guide and the rest of the learner guides that I'll send you. Whenever I see an icon like this, it means books. The icon like this means references, where you can get exactly where they got the information. An icon like this means this is important, so make sure that you really understand that point. An icon like this means activities. Obviously, these are things that you might need to research on so that you can understand them better. An icon like this means exercises, and I'll tell you if you need to work in groups and so forth. You then work in groups, but half of the exercises that we do, you do them on your own. Then an icon like this will mean tasks or projects, but these ones will only be necessary if we're doing the longer course, the full qualification. But in this particular short course, we will not really have much of projects. And then workplace activities, it actually means stuff that you then do when you're employed by a company to complete your training. And again, this might actually come at the end of this particular training. This particular 2 weeks, we'll be doing our training the way we're doing right now, online. And then tips, this can actually help you with practical tips you can adapt in the future. For example, shortcuts on your computer, and I'll actually teach you some shortcuts as we go. And then notes, this icon actually means these are important notes you must remember as part of the learning process. It's almost the same as the other icon we just looked at, which is written important. All right. Learner Guide Introduction will literally introduce you to this particular learner guide and explain to you all the specific information about this particular unit standard. This is coming from those organizations that I told you. That is your SAQA and your MICT. You might go through it all to understand what's happening. If you just want a brief overview of exactly what's happening, the truth of the matter is that it's just talking about the relationship between me and you. You are the learner. I'm the qualified facilitator that they are mentioning here. By qualified, they mean I'm actually registered with those organizations to provide such training and to guide students like you into completing such training as the one that we're about to go through together. So all this is about to explain exactly what this particular training is all about, which is already what I already explained to you. I'll train you, you answer questions, I'll mark. If you are competent, I forward so that they give you the certificate. If you are not, I give you back. You correct whatever needs to be corrected. I mark until you are competent and everything is completed, and we are all happy. Then We have many responsibilities. The responsibility of the facilitator is to facilitate and make sure that I answer all the questions that my students, which is you, who have. And the responsibility of the learner is that the learner also makes sure that they ask questions if they do not understand certain aspects of the training. Let me stop here so that I do not make this topic a little bit too long. Let's meet on the next video when we talk about the first part of this particular topic. Now we're getting our hands dirty.